seated.
Let us all rise for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning with grateful hearts, Father. We thank you, dear Lord, for bringing us here safely, and for those who are still on their way, we pray that you will be with them as they come and bring them here safely as well. Dear Lord, we ask that you will bless today's proceedings. Let everything go in accordance to your will, and that calm all nerves, dear Father, that these students will do to the best of their ability. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Amen.
Be seated. Parliament is now in session.
Order paper, Tuesday, 23rd January 2024. Order of business. Unless the House otherwise directs, the business of each sitting day shall be transact the following order. Formal entry of His Honor the Speaker. Prayers. Announcement by His Speaker, by the Honor the Speaker. Message from Her Excellency the President. Petitions, papers, government notice, private members notice, notice of questions, reports from selected communities, first reading of bills, statement by ministers, congratulatory and other obituary speeches, personal explanations, motions for leave of absence, oral replies to questions, notice motion for the adjournment of the House on matters of urgent public importance. Orders of the day. Government business. The leader of government to move the passing of the resolution that the Barbados National Youth Parliament that an all-encompassing strategy to tackle youth unemployment is adopted. Acknowledging the diverse obstacles confronted by youth individuals embarking on their professional journeys, urges the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, the Ministry of People, Employment and Elder Affairs, and the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Employment to give due consideration to the following recommendations. Equitably employment opportunities. The Barbados National Youth Parliament encourages collaboration with stakeholders to explore ways of making access to employment more equitable for individuals from low socio-economic backgrounds, those with disabilities and different sexual orientations and gender identities. This includes a thorough review of labor laws to prevent discrimination in hiring practices. Curriculum reform and industry alignment. This reform should be aligned with the skills and competencies required by the industries facing shortages, ensuring that students are adequately prepared to fill existing gaps in the job market. Collaboration with industries and regular reviews of educational programs and can promote a seamless transition from education to gainful employment. Encouraging entrepreneurship. The Barbados National Youth Parliament advocates for the development of strategies to encourage entrepreneurship from a young age. emphasizing the inclusion of dedicated time for entrepreneurship education. This aims to foster a culture of innovation, creativity, and self-employment among the youth. Job preparation mandate. The Barbados National Youth Parliament emphasizes the significance of preparing students for the workforce and therefore urges the introduction of a compulsory job preparation class for all secondary school students. This class shall focus on impartaking particular skills, including resume writing, interview techniques, workplace etiquette, and career planning, ensuring a smoother transition from education to employment. This stigma associated with blue-collar jobs shall be actively challenged through public awareness campaigns and educational inactivities, promoting the value and importance of professionals and in driving economic growth. Efforts shall be made to provide vocational training and apprenticeship opportunities in blue-collar sectors, encouraging youth to pursue careers in these fields.
And urges the government and stakeholders in the Caribbean to continue prioritization of investment, to continue prioritization of such as renewable energy, technology, and sustainable agriculture as strategic measures to reduce youth unemployment amongst other things.
Good morning to members of Parliament. Good morning to judges and specially invited guests. At this point in time, I would like to acknowledge Leader of Opposition Business, Joshua Harris.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I just rise with an issue, a very concerning issue from my members. And what we've realized when going through this amendment with a fine-tooth comb is that the government has called upon many ministries to tackle the issue of youth unemployment, but they did not call upon the Ministry of Labour, Social Security, and the third sector to do anything. And so if we are to be taken seriously, we'd like to propose an amendment to the resolution in the and be it further resolved clause to urge the Ministry of Labour, Social Security, and the third sector to also heed our recommendations. Thank you, sir.
Parliamentary clerks, please note the recommendation to the change in the resolution. At this point in time, I would like to recognize Leader of Government Business. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, good morning. Today I stand before you a person as a product of this Barbadian society and who has become a product of our culture and system. As you know, today we'll be discussing the unemployment issue. And no matter what walk of life you come from, this is something that everybody experiences, whether it be rich or poor, middle class, tall, slim, short, or fat. Today, I want us to look together at this issue and deconstruct and reconstruct our Barbadian system as it relates to unemployment. The BNYP advocates for working together with stakeholders to investigate methods of enhancing equitable access to unemployment, particularly for individuals from low socioeconomic backgrounds, those with disabilities, and diverse sexual orientations and gender identities. This involves a comprehensive examination of labor laws to eliminate the discrimination in our hiring process. Mr. Speaker, we believe that this reform should be harmonized with the skills and competencies demanded by industries experiencing shortages, guaranteeing that students are well equipped to address prevailing gaps in the job market, partnering with industries and consistently evaluating educational programs and to facilitate a smooth transition from education to meaningful employment. Furthermore, The BNYP supports the formulation of strategies to promote entrepreneurship from any early age, underscoring the importance of incorporating dedicated time for entrepreneurship education. This initiative seeks to cultivate a culture of innovative creativity and self-employment among the youth. Our present government, under the Ministry of Youth and Sports and Community Empowerment, in the Division of Youth Affairs, came up with a program called Next Steps. This initiative, rebranded in June of 2018, which seeks to empower young Barbadians, both men and women, achieve their maximum potential. And you can see on this flyer right here. While also fostering the development of social capital. One of their main goals is training and preparing young persons with the skills to push them closer to their occupational goals while giving them a closer access to the world of work. Today, my government will express to you our views and our take on this issue. Our resolution has clearly stated everything here, and I believe that we are well and able to address this issue. As we look at the different aspects of the changing world and how our occupations will change over time, and how the world, as we look at it with all its new props and stuff like AI and new discoveries and stuff and technologies, will remove certain persons from the places they were sitting at before. Our reform is looking at to, well, put people in places of work, but put them in a place where they'll be comfortable, as well as doing the best that they can to support whatever they have to support. We will look at our ecosystem, as well as how the new global change of life is occurring here. There will be new sectors of jobs opening, as we know the world is ever changing. For example, the environment, Mr. Speaker. We have heard that at COP26, when persons were most into it, they were talking about the change of climate and so on. But I do not know if a lot of persons have heard of anything called an environmental lawyer. That is a new sector that has come up and now is being promoted all over the world. And now we will provide opportunities for the youth and persons in between to get those kinds of jobs. We would also look at how the committee passed a developing policy for the youth, as well as the needs for greater emphasis placed on investments given to the renewable energy sector in order to create sustainable employment. And when we think of sustainable, we think of something that has to be gradually, maintained. It cannot be left to deteriorate. We, as a government, do not see the need for something to be there if it is not there and doing anything serving a purpose. What we are looking at is having a structure that will be changed, but still be relatable for every person here from all walks of life. We do not want that we implement stuff which will sometimes come to hurt some persons, but we want a holistic goal of supporting our community here in Barbados. We want to lift up our Barbadians and put them under jobs and stuff that they know that they can relate to. Also, I would like to touch on entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is something that is coming up right now, and as we've seen, there are a lot of young ladies and young men who are starting their own businesses, whether they're starting in the agricultural system and they are rearing animals and stuff. We see the need that we as a government should employ people to do these things. Well, before I ramble on anymore, I would just like to highlight that we also promoting the importance of jobs as well as skills training to rectify any issues that are there, and programs that would help to assist young people who are looking into jobs that they do not have. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I would like to oblige to you.
Thank you, Leader of Government Business. At this time, I recognize Leader of the Opposition. Leader of the Opposition, Nathan Simpson, you have the floor.
Honorable members, Mr. Speaker, Martin Luther King once said, and I quote, "A man who doesn't have a job or any income, he neither has life nor liberty, nor the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists." Sir, this morning we have another giant in our hands, sir. Sir, one where it's not just any other, sir. Sir, this is not COVID, sir. This is not chikungunya, sir. This is not dengue, sir. But, sir, this is due for unemployment, sir. Sir, today the opposition, sir, we have come with one goal today, sir, and that is, sir, to defeat this giant, sir. Sir, while we commend the government for a job well done, we have a few questions, sir. We find the resolution, sir, as mere fluff, sir. Sir, the resolution is one that, while, sir, presents a basic understanding, sir, of the issue, sir, is one that needs some work, sir. Sir, the opposition today, sir, has come with a different approach to this, sir. Sir, today we hear from the opposition, sir. Members will speak about improvements to Section D, sir, of the resolution, which is the job preparation mandate, sir. We'll also speak about encouraging entrepreneurship, sir, and a number of different matters, sir, which the opposition believes, sir, is readily important for our youth today. Sir, unemployment has become a major issue within our society even more today, sir. Sir, with the increasing population and the job sector which continues to provide full-time employment for the youth, sir. Sir, this has resulted in an unemployment rate that was last quarter in 2022 of 28.2%, sir. Sir, this includes, sir, the portion of young persons, sir, between the age of 15 to 24 who were unemployed, sir, during that period. Mr. Speaker, sir, unemployment, sir, has caused several issues in our young people, sir. It has caused, as we were recently spoken about in the last debate, sir, mental health challenges, sir. Sir, it has caused depression, sir. Sir, despite having the highest qualifications, sir, and the highest level of education there is out there, sir, it's still difficult for our young people, sir, to receive employment. Sir, I wish to shift my attention to the resolution, sir, where it speaks about encouraging entrepreneurship. Sir, I believe we have to go back to the basics, sir, because I think that sometimes we wait too late, so people say we wait till the horse is over the stable and then we want to do something about it. Sir, I think we need to get back to basics, sir. I believe this is something that's not strongly pushed within our schools, sir. I believe so we need to go back to starting from our primary school level, sir, to train entrepreneurship, sir. I don't think it is wise for us as a society, sir, to wait till our youth gets to secondary school or even tertiary education and know we are trying to push entrepreneurship, sir. Sir, I would have liked the government, sir, to actually provide us a bit more as it came to entrepreneurship, sir, in terms of having, I don't want to say mandate classes, sir, but incorporate them, sir, in our everyday schooling, sir. And within doing that, sir, I think that you persons are more aware of what entrepreneurship is, because many times our people don't understand what it is, sir. Sir, if I also can. I wish to address the job preparation class mandate, sir. I question this, sir, because what is good to teach our youth, sir, practical skills and resume writing and interview techniques, sir, and workplace ethics and career planning and all these other stuff, sir. So when are we starting this, sir? Why wait till the youth are 14 and 15 and 20 and 25? No, sir, no one to bring this in our school, sir. And so I wish to stick there a bit longer because doing that, sir, I also want to, if I may, sir, speak to the youth that have this mindset that I just want a job because I want money. I think, sir, we need to, as a society, need to curb that mindset, sir. And I believe it starts from the schools, because in schools it's pushed that everybody must be a doctor, a lawyer, a politician. And then because the stigma label with these things, sir, it's not going well for our youth, sir. Sir, I believe that soft skills is something that the government could have included here in the resolution, sir, because many times our young people don't know how to function within schools. Sir, in terms of their deportment, sir, a lot of people don't understand, sir, how it is to dress for work. Because we have got examples, sir, where people go to school, their shirts are out, sir, the ties in the bag or the ties home, sir. So I think we need to get back to the basics, sir. Teach our young people how to dress, sir, how to carry themselves, sir, how to speak, sir, how to address someone who is basically senior to them, sir. Sir, I think we need to curve our thinking in that way, sir, because if we don't take a step back to come forward, we're going to have a serious issue, sir, trying to tackle this. So, sir, the leader of government business, sir, would have spoken about the Next Step program. Sir, while I thank him for doing that, I think that some more from him should have been brought to explain to the youth out there, sir, what the Next Step program is. Though, sir, it has its purpose and its place, sir, I am a bit curious, sir, the opposition, sir, is a bit curious as to the rate of young persons, sir, who are actually successful within this program, sir. If the leader can provide information for us, sir. Sir, while it is a good program, sir, and within the program, sir, you're taught some of the same skills that is mentioned here in the resolution. We believe that a step further needs to be taken, sir. Sir, I'm a bit puzzled that we have waited to do this now, sir. Sir, unemployment is always an issue, sir. We always had young persons out there who were unemployed. Well, sir, the government has implemented various programs, sir, and ways to improve the issues that we have had with unemployment, sir. Sir, I think more practical skills need to be implemented in every school, in every college, sir. So I believe that although the government has done somewhat to help the unemployment issue, sir, I think that employment schemes need to be offered in our schools, sir. Sir, things like internships, sir. I find, well, they're good, sir. I have to make a plug here, sir, for the youth, sir. And so I'm gonna ask a question, sir, that I may get licked for later, but I'm gonna ask it. Sir, I for one, sir, and I didn't mean to go here, sir, but I for one, a bit perturbed, sir, that while internship and job tactics are good, sir, I don't believe, sir, that having the youth do this, sir, and not give them something, and I'm not saying that giving of your time is not a good thing, but what I'm saying, sir.
Honorable member, you have 1 minute remaining.
Sir, I can land quickly, sir. Sir, I'm not saying that is not a good thing, sir. But what I'm saying is at least encourage our youth, sir, to feel as if they have a purpose within this world, sir. Sir, for too long, sir, the youth has been taken advantage of, sir. So, sir, I will end by saying this, sir. I am happy, sir, that we are here to debate this issue, sir, and with those few words, I'm obliged to you.
Thank you, Leader of the Opposition, Nathan Simpson. At this point in time, I would like to recognize the Prime Minister of Government, Ms. Sarah Holder.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, honorable members. Mr. Speaker, what do you want to be when you grow up? It feels like that question comes with a multiple choice sheet for many. And the only valid answers are A, if I was only introduced to A, B, and C. How can our youth aspire to be astronauts if they have never even heard of an astronaut? Not only is this where the stigma for blue-collar jobs begin, but this is where we limit our youth's career imagination. Today, I want to focus on points B and C of the resolution that speaks to the curriculum, reform, and entrepreneurship. The opposition leader spoke of taking a step back and coming forward, and we agree. And that is why these points speak to a more proactive approach, Mr. Speaker. And some may argue that we need immediate approaches, and I agree. But like he said, we must take a step back and come forward. We cannot ignore the importance of laying a strong foundation, for lasting change. Mr. Speaker, when I was in third farm, I was certain that I wanted to be a pastry chef until I got the opportunity to work in a bakery. Until I got the opportunity to work alongside a pastry chef. And then I realized that my passion does not lie in standing for long hours. But where I found my passion was through experiences in NGOs and volunteering. The point I am making, Mr. Speaker, is that this government recognizes the importance of career exploration. This government wants skilled citizens who can go anywhere in the world and work. Hence, we are calling for a curriculum that exposes students to various occupations, both in theory and practical. But this requires a collaboration between public, private, and third sectors. The vision that we have is for students from as early as primary school to be introduced to careers via field trips and career showcases. And I think that the opposition leader will agree with me based on his speech just now. And yes, we have these in schools already, and I commend the persons who host them. But the idea is to bring a more diverse occupations to these spaces. The vision is to go a step further and allow students to gain hands-on experiences in various industries. And the idea is that in the same way schools have allotted time periods for clubs, that they could be the same for them to experience working in various fields. Activities such as job shadowing, lunch and learns, and spaces that speak to the realistic things that happen within a workspace is what we are proposing to be introduced into schools. I want to touch briefly on the topic of blue-collar jobs. I personally believe that the stigma surrounding blue-collar jobs is one of ignorance. It comes from a place of ignorance, because when we hear blue-collar jobs, the first thing we think of is working in the sun. But again, Mr. Speaker, this speaks to the limited career imagination. The harsh reality is that technology is advancing and making some jobs in the industry obsolete. Again, this is why I say that career exploration is important and we should introduce our youth to emerging industries. Because the advancement of technology has diversified the blue-collar sector. So along with aspiring to be carpenters and electricians and engineers, our young people can aspire to be drone technicians. That is in the blue-collar industry. Our young people can aspire to be AI specialists, digital farmers. But again, they can only aspire to be such if they know that they exist. Mr. Speaker, during the 2020 estimate debate dated Monday the 24th of February, the Honorable Santia Bashir, at that time she was in her capacity as Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, announced the government's investment of over $5 million towards robotics programs in schools. This is what we speak of when we speak of identifying and investing in emerging industries. But for this investment to span across industries, it calls again for a collaboration among stakeholders. The last thing I will say on this is that I had the opportunity to attend the UWIK Full Campus Science Fair and I met T, Mr. Speaker. You may ask, who is T? T is a robot that folds clothes that was made by students of the Harrison, I got that right? Harrison College Robotics Club. Mr. Speaker, I saw both secondary and primary students showcasing robots that they would have built from scratch. Mr. Speaker, 11-year-olds are building robots. This is what we want. I am not saying that we want everybody to get into robotics or the blue-collar sector, because I heard that last week during training. But what this government is saying is that we are committed to staying current. The vision is to stay current by exposing our young people to emerging industries and equipping them with the skills demanded by a fast-changing job market. I also want to take this time to touch on the topic of entrepreneurship. What I want to bring to the discussion is the significance of fostering something called the entrepreneurial mindset. The entrepreneurial mindset within our schools. When we speak of the entrepreneurial mindset, it is not solely about starting a business, etc., but it is about cultivating skills that are needed within the job market. Mr. Speaker, I sold marbles at age 9. I made jewelry at 11. I started hair accessories at 13. I'm 21 today and I own a small business. But these experiences have taught me not only how to run a business, but they have taught me how to adapt, problem solve, and think critically. What does this have to do with unemployment? Job markets are constantly evolving, and my colleague here said that. Some youth face challenges in finding stable employment due to a mismatch between their skills and the demands of the job market. So by integrating what is called the entrepreneurial mindset, you integrate entrepreneurial principles into our education system. And here we are not only preparing students for the possibility of starting a business. Some might not be interested in starting a business, but they can also profit from this because the entrepreneurial mindset provides students with the skills that are highly sought after by employers. What are these skills?
Honorable member, you have 1 minute remaining.
Thank you. That's all I need. Thank you. The ability to think innovatively, work collaboratively, deal with uncertainty, and think creativity. These skills help to bridge the gap between academic knowledge and real-world application. So by fostering these skills within our schools, we are not only shaping job creators, but also a workforce that can adapt to emerging industries. You say I have 1 minute left. So my conclusion would be simple. We must move beyond the multiple choice test. I'm obliged to you.
Much obliged. Recognizing member of the opposition. Leader of opposition business, Joshua Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, as a young man in this country, when I look at the resolution brought before this chamber, it feels like an injustice has been done, sir. And I am certain that if the Barbadian youth were to see this resolution, they would think the same. Well, yes, the government has recognized youth unemployment to be a critical issue. The steps proposed do nothing, sir, but scratch the surface. Today, sir, we are here to debate a resolution that lacks ambition. Sir, if we really want to represent the youth properly and be taken seriously, we must go much further with our efforts at mitigating such issues. Mr. Speaker, this resolution does not secure the youth of this country's futures. This resolution does not take the necessary action to properly eradicate youth unemployment and maintain a sustainable youth unemployment rate, sir. Sir, the rest of the world is going ahead and leaving us behind as it relates to youth unemployment. Britain has a youth unemployment rate of 12.6% as of October 2023, according to the OECD, sir. The United States has a youth unemployment rate of 7.22% as of 2022, sir. And the Caribbean and Latin America's labor review showed the average youth unemployment to be 16% in our region as of 2022. It begs the question, sir, why does Barbados have a youth unemployment rate near double that of Britain, near 3.5 times higher than that of the United States of America, and 1.5 times higher than the rest of the Caribbean, sir? Sir, we on this side would like to submit to this chamber and the people of Barbados that these countries are diversifying their economies and making technological advancements while we are sitting on our hands and depending mainly on tourism to drive our economy. And sir, yes, a way to tackle this issue is by entrepreneurship. However, Mr. Speaker, we must not only encourage entrepreneurship, we must encourage responsible and diverse entrepreneurship, sir. What we see now are many of our peers tapping into hair, nails, and food for entrepreneurship. If we are not careful, sir, a glut will be created in these industries, leading to only the survival of the fittest because of mass business closure. What we need is equal opportunity for all. Therefore, sir, we must expand and diversify the skills offered in our schools and tertiary education institutions so that we have a sustainable and an even spread of small businesses in this country. Mr. Speaker, further to this, with 14% of workers having already experienced job displacement from artificial intelligence, and a projection that by 2025, only next year, sir, AI could take over 52% of jobs globally, according to market data in the United States of America. Sir, we must enthusiastically endorse a responsible implementation of artificial intelligence in the job market here in this country. So we mustn't be hasty to go full speed ahead with artificial intelligence and leave our citizens to endure agony because of it. Sir, the government has proposed having a compulsory job preparation mandate in our secondary schools to teach them resume writing amongst other things. Sir, this is a waste of taxpayer dollars when the guidance counselors have this under their purview already, and there's also YouTube available for students to watch such skills training videos, sir. Sir, we must first address the elephant in the room for this to be effective. We must first address the non-completion rate of secondary education in this country. Sir, the reality is formal education is so unattractive to our youth. We as a youth parliament must advocate for the development of programs that meet the needs of at-risk youth, sir. Tapping into innovative subjects such as game art, animation, and software designing that our young people are interested in, sir. We must meet the interests of our youth so that formal education in its current state, sir, is no longer unattractive to our peers, but rather prepares them for the 21st century job market. Sir, we on this side would also like to propose Thank you, sir. We on this side would like to propose a suitable policy mix to support the acquisition of new skills to facilitate career progression and help those in precarious employment access more stable or better paying jobs, as suggested by the OECD. Collaborative partnerships between government, non-profits, and the private sector have proven to create a resilient ecosystem that fosters innovation, amplifies resources, and propels sustainable solutions. Sir, and to achieve this, we on this side of the floor propose that above all else, we need a comprehensive human resource strategy. This helps to guide our path in combating youth unemployment, sir, and ensures that our education offerings align with the job market requirements of the 21st century. Sir, in closing, it is not our goal on the opposition to refute whatever is brought by the government. It is, however, our solemn duty to propose more meaningful approaches to tackle the issues plaguing our nation, and more specifically, the intelligent and talented youth that are spread across the length and breadth of the 166 square miles that we call Barbados. So, sir, whilst we may not see eye to eye with the government on the urgent steps needed to be taken, we extend our hand in good faith to put forward something meaningful, something that would make a difference to the leaders of tomorrow, and something that would transform the lives. Sir, just 2 more seconds, sir, to wrap up. And something that would transform the lives of so many in this country that we call home. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I am obliged to.
Mr. Speaker, the world has changed beyond the imagination of our forefathers. 100 years ago, to get from Barbados to Africa took months. But now, to get from Africa to Barbados, it takes about 24 hours by plane. This can give you the picture that the world is changing. For instance, these were not a thing in our forefathers' time. We, the government, good governance, is being honest on what we can and cannot do. We, the government, understands that in order for our youth to be successful, we cannot provide all of the necessary jobs needed, but we can prepare them for success. To talk about the exact curriculum would be far-fetched. We have to focus on the role of education. And it says, the role of education is to ensure that you can successfully navigate life. A quote by Richard Riley says, "We are currently preparing students for jobs that don't exist yet using technologies that haven't even been invented in order to solve problems we don't even know are problems yet." This quote suggests that students must be prepared for the fact that in their lives, the job market and what is successful for professional success will change and evolve over time. In some industries, growth will be seen. An example of this is jobs in STEM. The US labor statistics showed that nearly 8.6 million jobs in May 2015 are from STEM alone. We must prepare our young people for the workforce. For the past years, we have been using the 4 R's of the curriculum, which are reading, writing, resolution, and respect. But I come to believe that we need to start using the 4 C's, which are critical thinking, creative thinking, communicating, and collaboration. Jobs like cashiers, data entry, telemarketing, and also social media managers will not exist, would be obsolete, let me just say that, in the next 10 years. In order for our young people to be able to be prepared for life, they have to know how to use content knowledge. Because knowledge says nothing if you do not know how to apply it to the real world. It says absolutely nothing. I can go and sit in math and learn about trigonometry, as a lot of y'all like to say, and do not know how to use the same trigonometry outside of math. We need to focus on soft skill and experiential skills in our young people.
Honorable member, just give me a moment. I'm hearing a lot of cross-talking on the opposition side. Please understand and respect that as you stand, you have the floor. You're the only person allowed and required to speak. Respect your honorable member, please. Thank you. Honorable member, continue.
Focusing on teaching our young people real life skills that they can use is a need in the classroom. Teaching our young people on and how to apply for NIS, loans, mortgages, and also stuff like buying homes matter. We need to have these stuff. with the idea of recommending having future-ready skills outcome into both summarized or formative assessments. This assessment will help assess students' mastery skills in ways that impact, improve, and informs learning in real time. As I come to close to say, the father of independence in 1966 said, "My government, I assure you, will not be found loitering our colonial office premises after closing time." And we have completed that step by becoming republic. But realistically, we continue to stay on colonial premises when it comes to educating our young people, when it comes to preparing them for the real world, when it comes to job marketing, and when it comes to opportunities for success. It is time that we change along with the world. It is time that we get past 100 years and move forward. It is time for us to take the steps, the necessary steps for our young people to be successful. And I left this for last. For the opposition that said we need to do this, we understand the need to do this because our government has started the education.
Please wrap up.
Okay, I'm wrapping up. Our government has started the education transformation. Yes, we understand that it's taking a while, but things take time and it's in process. So don't come to make it seem like nothing is being done. And with that, I do oblige.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I'll start with a quote from the former President of France, Mr. Hollande, His Excellency Mr. Hollande. "A generation without work is a future defeat for the country and for humanity. We must fight against this and help each other to find a solution." End quote. Today I stand before you not just as a mere representative, but as a voice for the dreams and aspirations of the youth of Barbados. Our journey is marked with challenges, but I believe with every challenge lies an opportunity for growth, resilience, and transformation. In our pursuit for lasting change, we must be mindful of a nuanced approach and adjustments. This resolution presented before us requires a careful examination to ensure it aligns seamlessly with the diverse needs and aspirations of our youth. Mr. Speaker, while I endorse the proposed strategies, I believe that it is crucial, to delve deeper into certain aspects that demand careful consideration and a delicate approach. Firstly, let us discuss encouraging entrepreneurship, specifically the inclusion of dedicated time for entrepreneurship education. While entrepreneurship is certainly a very well, let's just say it's the best thing, one of the best things, before I continue, that we can provide for our students. But we also can't forget about the equal acknowledgement of both developing expertise in all different parts of education. Now, Mr. Speaker, while I move on quickly in connection with this, I'd like to highlight the importance of a more comprehensive curriculum reform and industry alignment as described in point B in the resolution presented. Rather than focusing primarily on the skills necessary by industries experiencing shortages, we should strive for a more balanced approach that includes a diverse range of occupations. Now, a comprehensive educational system should train students not just for rising businesses, but also for stable and critical sectors that form the foundation of this very economy. In discussing point B, I propose a balance of vocational training and a well-rounded education that includes variety of skill sets, Mr. Speaker. While blue-collar jobs are unquestionably valuable and should be destigmatized, we shouldn't overlook the importance of a diverse skill set and includes both vocational and academic components, as mentioned by our Honourable Prime Minister. This approach ensures that our youth are prepared to enter the workforce and adapt and thrive in this constantly job-changing market of today and of tomorrow. Furthermore, let us acknowledge the potential of investment in growing sectors such as renewable energy, technology, and sustainable agriculture, as highlighted in the resolution. These sectors not only have the potential to create jobs, but also contribute to a sustainable future for this very nation. And with that, I support creating youth apprenticeships in both traditional and innovative sectors. Now, this method provides practical experience bridging the gaps between theoretical education and requirements. Now, Mr. Speaker, it is imperative that we continue prioritizing these areas as a strategic measure to reduce youth unemployment. While I strongly support the resolution's overall goal of reducing youth unemployment, I advocate for a thoughtful and balanced approach. Now, Mr. Speaker, let us encourage entrepreneurship without sacrificing the the value of a well-rounded education and diverse skill sets. Now, together we can develop a comprehensive strategy that effectively addresses the variety of difficulties that our youth face in their professional lives. In closing, I call upon each and every one of you to be a beacon of hope, a beacon of resilience, and a beacon of positive change. Together, let us transform challenges into stepping stones and dreams into reality. The youth of Barbados are not just the future, we are the present, and our actions today will shape the destiny of our generations to come. Other members of government, I stand before you with an urgent plea that let this resolution not just be a mere gesture if and when passed, but let me implore you to ensure the continuous implementation, a commitment that transcends short-term fixes. Let this resolution mark the beginning of a lasting change, not just a fleeting response. Our future depends on the sustained efforts. The time for decisive and enduring action is now. Mr. Speaker, while I implore the government for this resolution, what the government has brought us is a car. Well, we're thankful for the car, a very brand new car. We got in, only found $20 in gas. Where's that going to take us? With that, Mr. Speaker, I oblige.
Much obliged. Recognizing member of the government side, Shamar Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, Barbados has a huge problem. For decades, we've had thousands of children leaving schools without the necessary skills needed for the workforce. A study was conducted in 2022 by the Barbados Statistical Service, which shows that roughly 30% of our youth are not in the labour force. That number has since risen by roughly 2%. This should come as no surprise to any of us living in Barbados. I'm sure as we have journeyed throughout the country, we've seen many men lying on the block and wasting away their potential. We have failed our children in many ways. One of the main ways we have failed our children is through the lack of vision. Students are often told to take the conventional route when going to school. That is, they're taught to become doctors or lawyers or even engineers. However, following these career paths can prove very challenging for many. And God forbid, if their academic endeavors have failed, many students will find themselves without clear alternatives or guidance, especially when the subjects that they chose do not translate well into different job opportunities. I'm not saying that our children shouldn't be high achievers. However, subjects being pushed by the current curriculum have straitjacketed the scope of career alternatives and opportunities our students can choose from. There's a multitude of career paths that don't involve being doctors or lawyers. For example, in 2023, our Prime Minister, Mia Motley, unveiled plans to build a new national stadium for Barbadians. This project alone can host various job opportunities that require skills such as solar installation, plumbing for water systems, water conservation experts for using grey water, maintenance technicians, construction workers, and many more. When a vision takes form, jobs are conceived. This is why the government is proposing an education reform. The current curriculum has its efforts so focused on creating students with high-end jobs that it has unintentionally created a binary mindset, causing students to undervalue or even overlook various job opportunities, only to be left stranded when their original plans do not work out. In closing, schools have a diminishing ability to prepare our students for the evolving job market, but they have also failed in providing students with a vision of the future. As a result, this resolution aims to create a curriculum aligned in a manner that focuses on all skills sought after in the current industry. For example, schools should include educational programs that facilitate an array of labor experiences, not only directed towards being doctors or lawyers, but also plumbers or landscapers who are equally as important. And the importance of each job shouldn't be understated either. Instead of telling the youth to become a plumber to fix someone's toilet, a more visionary and uplifting approach can be taken. We can instead say that through provision of clean water and proper sewage systems, plumbers are literally responsible for saving millions of lives more than doctors. Schools should be actively trying to change the perspective on blue-collar jobs and how they're perceived. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Much obliged, honourable member. I recognize Ariel Moscow. Honorable Member Ariel Moscow, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We, the youth, are taught a great education will lead you successful in life. Mr. Speaker, I'm sure you have heard this phrase before, if not exact, similar. Freshly out of school, the youth are known to hunt day and evening, call after call for a job. That's what they were told to do. Even with their high passes in the regional examination, known as CXC and CAPE, they still got denied. Where does the problem lie? I know a victim of this situation. Resume was well written, well dressed, high grades, experience in a work environment, and most importantly, attitude towards her work, but still no call. I am that victim. This situation must be dealt with, though it's not easy, as it not only affects the individual, but also globally. I say globally because on Tuesday the 16th of January, a young 17-year-old male broke into a home located at Blackrock, St. Michael. And seeing the young male, you will not think the guilty of him. Oh, how the shaky neighbor felt when he received that call for his lost treasury to be taken away by a young, active, unemployed male. It shows how in today's society, having no money at all will drive a person to receive the bare minimum. Mr. Speaker, telling you this incident, is it the teens' mindset that are to be blamed? Are we too late to change this mindset? Mr. Speaker, we are talking about encouraging entrepreneurship. But when we do, we lead them to simple traits such as baking, hair, and nails. Are we not seeing a pattern here? These are easy money-making traits. For a small island, money is not needed. What happened to being technicians, plumbers, farmers? What happened to being an artist? I'm not referring to lyrics and rhythm, but crayons and craft itself. These are the prime examples we need on this island. Mr. Speaker, these members are putting folly in your ear. The Ministry of Youth and the Ministry of Education care for our youth by providing plenty of opportunities available, such as scholarships provided by the Ministry of Education and a pathway program provided by the Ministry of Youth. They are just not aware. We need to ask ourselves if the youth in today's society are serious about their education and stop putting the blame on the Ministry of Education who wants to see us strive. As for my past school, Entrepreneurship Day was held and company workers were invited to the school. We dressed in our business attire and our resume was typed out. And in honor, a job internship was given. So I would not say the educational system is not all poison. Neither would I say that all schools provide this opportunity. Maybe the education system is not the problem. Maybe it's the work environment that is the problem. For example, the hotel industry, in which we all know is a rough one. On the 14th of December of 2023, I sat there in a meeting held by the credit union. My legs were crossed listening to the inhumane ways they treated their workers. The meeting is held once a year for the workers to express their feelings. Some are threatened by their managers if they attend by reducing their paychecks. But I will keep the confidentiality to a maximum. Another occasion, my co-worker told me about her past job, where she worked $75 to $150 on Mondays to Friday, 9 to 6, and Sunday, 9 to 2. All that work for a little pay wage. So tell me, Mr. Speaker, leading back to my incident, they tell the youth to find a job when searched they're denied. They say to increase the population, demographically speaking, because the old cannot work forever. So why do the youth feel the need to find a job after secondary level? Why not further their education? These are all questions we must ask. We cannot assume. I oblige to you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member Dante Freeman, your time is finally come.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, sir. I have a question for you. If you were going down a pathway and you had two paths, would you rather choose passion or profits, compliance or competence, confidence or conformity? Or, if I give you a shovel, take a new pathway for yourself, you can marry the two traits and choose something that you would want to do. Mr. Speaker, when we look at our society, there is a real stigma with the blue-collar jobs. Many persons within this field look at themselves as enough, while others look at them as the lower grades. They look at them as persons who lack education, who lack technique, who are just there to do things for them and then go about their day. But these persons within the blue collar sector are actually those full of skills, full of education, and full of techniques that not only provide services for other industries, but for their families as well. Mr. Speaker, when we look at our fathers and our uncles within our families, those are the ones who teach us the real manual labor, how to fix our cars, how to plumb, how to do anything that basically deals with the hard work with your hands. Mr. Speaker, the job market in Barbados is quite slim when it comes to choosing your occupation. There are persons who would want to go in tourism, others want to go in corporate finance. But with tourism, there's a thing of contract work, where you are limited to about 6 to 8 months of work throughout the year, and for the remainder, you're unemployed, looking for jobs, or waiting on your job to resume. With building skills within these individuals, we can allow them to create businesses for themselves, marrying both the unemployment factor to the employment factor, as they would employ persons to help them when they're busy during their, I want to say, their A-class job in tourism, while their B-class job would then be pushed when they are away from their A-class job. Mr. Speaker, the economic sustainability that can be built with building entrepreneurship is so magnificent and grand that Barbados would benefit in a huge light. We can allow these individuals to promote their businesses and then to invite persons to come and work for them. I'm getting a bit lost here, Mr. Speaker. But basically, I'm saying we have a huge set of women who are at home, about 40% of women, and about 30% of men are at home. These persons are categorized as inactive. Inactive meaning that they cannot work, either being retired, too young, or unable to work, or not choosing to work. There are other persons who not choosing to work. These persons can then develop industries that can help themselves and others. And not just the blue-collar industry, but also other industries. Mr. Speaker, about 10% of young individuals, that being 1 of 10, between the age of 15 to 19, are categorized as unemployed. These are within the unemployment rate. Above that, there are persons that average over 56% from the ages of 20 to 44. And Barbados has an aging population. When these persons move into the next category, they add to the 30%, which are about to be within the retired age, that remain without jobs. If we allow for more creative industries to develop within Barbados, we can help to reduce these numbers so that we would not put strain on our resources within the NASS and other factors which would help them to better themselves due to not having occupations. Mr. Speaker, the destigmatization of certain sectors would allow young individuals to grow up feeling the need to be new persons, helping their families to grow out of poverty, and also having to diversify their communities by providing services that are not there currently. Within the areas of Christchurch, in the suburban, thank you, Mr. Speaker, of Christchurch, there are many suburban communities that lack certain traits. There are businesses that are absent, like supermarkets. And there are also many, like forestry, that can be grown in Barbados. But if we encourage the blue-collar industries and stuff, these persons would then push themselves and others around them to help them and to help themselves to outgrow these unemployment factors and to shrink unemployment so that everyone can overall benefit. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I oblige.
Recognizing honorable members of the Stanford.
Honorable members, Mr. Speaker, good morning. Mr. Speaker, when you are unemployed, weekends are 7 days longer. For our little island, the youth are struggling. We have 20-year-olds who don't even know how to fill out an application form, how to dress for an interview, and unfortunately, some don't even know how to speak for themselves or even the right words to use. This is not a problem that is not arising from today, and it has been going on for far too long. I would like to turn my focus to section B of the resolution. Yes, aligning educational reforms with industry needs is crucial for preparing students for the workforce. It is also important to notice that while collaboration with industries and regular reviews of educational programs is viable, focusing solely on aligning reforms with current industry needs may risk neglecting broader educational goals. It's essential to maintain a balance. Incorporating a diverse set of skills and knowledge that foster critical thinking and adaptability rather than solely tailoring education to immediate industry demands. This broader perspective ensures students are equipped for a dynamic job market and not limited to specific set skills that may become obsolete over time. Instead of looking to do a total reform, I propose that schools start hosting job fairs to help guide students in finding out what field of work they want to be in. With doing this, it gives students the opportunity to explore all their options. For example, Susie solely believes she wants to be a doctor, but at the job fair, she became highly attracted to being a plumber, as she did not know the wonders of that job. I would like now to pay close attention to section D. While the emphasis on preparing students for the workforce is commendable, for all secondary school students making job preparation classes compulsory for all secondary school students may not be the most effective solution. And Mr. Speaker, here's why. Mandatory classes can add to the academic burden and can also take a toll on their mental health, which we are trying to avoid. And it may not cater to the diverse career aspirations of students. A more flexible approach will be to integrate these practical skills into the existing curriculum or offer them as elective courses, allowing students to choose based on their interests and career goals. This way, the education system can still provide essential job preparation skills without imposing a one-size-fits model on all students. While the government has proposed commendable solutions, such as the introduction of compulsory job preparation classes, it's crucial to consider the diverse nature of students' career aspirations. Integrating practical skills into the existing curriculum or offering them as elective courses provides a more flexible, personalized approach. By taking these suggestions into consideration, the government can enhance its efforts in preparing students for the workforce, ensuring a smoother transition from education to employment that caters to the individual needs and interests of all students. Mr. Speaker, I would like you to think about this. Imagine, I wake up before 7 o'clock every morning. I pray and I thank God for life. I am only 16 years old. From the time I was a child, I knew what I wanted to do. And at 16, I'm still on that path. Can you imagine? I get out of my bed to start my day. Sometimes I decide to go for a walk. It is 7:30 in the morning, let's say, and there are young men on the block smoking. Why are you smoking at 7:30 in the morning? That is not breakfast. That is not something you want to do. Yes, please. Oh. The young ladies are on social media doing the absolute most, dressing as if I don't even know, sir. The youth, we need guidance. We need guidance from not only our families, our parents, but we need guidance from other persons. Well, I love your speeches, it's very amazing. But you said how having the resume classes and stuff, making them mandatory. I don't know if you ever did a job interview of anything. But you need to have CVs, you need to have resume writing, you need to learn interview techniques. So I think that class will be a great success for our students. So on that I say. have to answer her, right? Thank you. Continuing. Mr. Speaker, yes, these are some very commendable solutions I have said. But we need to look deeper. They say, pardon? Thank you, sir. They say not everyone can be a baker, a hairdresser, or a nail technician. But, we can have seamstresses. Maybe a young lady wants to pave the road. Maybe she wants to pick up garbage. But you would never in a household see a mother say, Suzanne, I want you to collect garbage. You will hear her say, Suzanne, go in the kitchen, pick up the apron, turn on the stove, and start to cook. That is what you will hear. We need to change that. It is generational. My mother would never come to me and say, Zakia, you want to be a garbage collector? She would never. We need to change it, Mr. Speaker. I'm obliged to you.
Recognizing all honorable member, Leisha Michael.
I would like to say greetings to the Speaker of the House and honorable members, and without further ado, I would like to hop straight into it. I read a quote that
One more minute. Hold. Just housekeeping matters. First of all, please remember, according to parliamentary protocol, you make note to the speaker before you need to leave, or you have something to say. So just making sure that that is kept in mind as we go forward.
Mr. Speaker, permission to be excused, sir.
Permission granted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I would like to read a quote for you that says, "Show me the heroes that the youth of your country look up to, and I will tell you the future of your country." In Barbados, as many of you would know, we are taught to look up to lawyers and to doctors, but I feel we don't pay respect to other areas. We are not taught to look up to the artists who bolster the creativity that a nation is known for. We don't look at the athletes who help the prestige of a country, and the entrepreneurs, yes, the entrepreneurs who are proving themselves as a major cornerstone of every major economy. In fact, U.S. statistics show nearly 118 million private sector jobs in May 2020, representing 85% of U.S. employment. Their government standing about roughly 13.4%. Barbados, by comparison, stands at 23.6% employed by the public sector. This alone shows, if cross-referenced also with other countries, other major countries that lead in innovation, that lead in employment, like Germany, Switzerland. If you look at them, you can see that anywhere you find it, you are also going to find a high level of entrepreneurship. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to show my gratitude to the facilitators of the NYP for allowing me to share on a matter that is personal to me. I have heard about the lack of job opportunities, internship, not being able to get these opportunities. But I can say that I don't think that enough emphasis is placed on what entrepreneurship can really do for our youth and our country. I myself, as a young entrepreneur, I have gotten job connections. I have gotten my first job through entrepreneurship, my first internship. I won in an entrepreneurship program. So I think that there's routes to doing it, there's ways to doing it. And I would like to commend the foundation of entrepreneurship I envision coming from this resolution, allowing for solutions for some of the main problems I have faced as a young entrepreneur myself, and some of my fellow entrepreneurs did as well. Some of those being, one, grants for graduates for entrepreneurial studies to start businesses. One of the major problems that entrepreneurs in Barbados face is funding. It is very, very hard. It is easy to say, yes, we want to go into more diverse areas and sectors, but the truth is that funding for these areas are usually very limited, and I can speak from my personal experience. Secondly, the promotion and creation of more in-school business programs and clubs, allowing for students not to have to take time away from their school and their academia in order to understand and to further their understanding of business and entrepreneurship. And finally, the reduction of the red tape for new businesses and business registration, which often poses a problem to many, many young entrepreneurs. For time's sake, I will conclude with this. Nations are not handed perfect. They are perfected by hand, by Apogee Star. Mr. Speaker, I have done.
At this point in time, I would like to recognize John Delaney.
Thank you. Honorable Mr. Speaker, this represents the resolution that has been presented to us. It represents this plan that, yes, they have established and told to us what their vision for Barbados is, especially when it comes to our youth. And not just their employment, but their vocation, because we are advocating for youth not just to have a job, but to do things that they truly feel called to do. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, this plane has no engine.
Honourable Member, I hope you don't plan to throw the plane across the parliamentary setting.
Mr. Speaker, this resolution doesn't have enough power to even cross there. What this resolution is good for is to make a paper airplane, make a point, and crush it. Mr. Speaker, I think that the government needs to sort out their own house before they try to change the world and try to change Barbados. Mr. Speaker, you have a government that claims they are trying to empower Barbadians, that claims that they are trying to advocate for all these wonderful things, including all these soft skills, including blue-collar jobs. Mr. Speaker, we have these persons here who have, in their short or long tenures in youth involvement and youth empowerment, have served in multiple organizations. And yet, Mr. Speaker, I don't think they have lived up to the expectations set by them, by whoever appointed them. And I don't think that they can properly sleep well at night knowing what they have done and claiming that they are trying to empower youth. Mr. Speaker, through you, I want to speak to everyone in the room, because youth empowerment is not just about us. Youth empowerment is not even just about youth unemployment. Youth empowerment is about the culture that we have when it comes to the way that we talk about our young people, the way that we talk about our vocation, the way that we talk about our purpose as a people. We talk about pride and industry, and yet this government, Mr. Speaker, I don't think they are truly promoting that culture. Mr. Speaker, I invite you and all the other members, old and young, everyone here inside, to go to Instagram, go to YouTube, go to any social media platform, as that is the age we are living in right now. And Mr. Speaker, and everyone else, what you will find is that these persons have served on youth organizations that I cannot find a podcast in which they have intergenerational conversations with industry leaders in the same STEM and renewable energy industry that they are claiming that they want to promote. Mr. Speaker, the resolution is so weak, and their focus and commitment, I believe, is so limited that the most you tell me they can come up with in a resolution is to urge stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, we really need to buy a dictionary for everyone who is a member of Youth Parliament, because I do not understand how they could type an all-encompassing strategy to be adopted and then write those resolutions, Mr. Speaker. That is far from all-encompassing. We have not addressed, like my member here said, the persons who use social media on a regular basis, who early, that's almost their breakfast, Mr. Speaker. When they are scrolling through, what do they see from their youth organizations? What do they see from their platforms, Mr. Speaker? Again, they claim that they are trying to empower youth, but look at the way that they have used their platform.
Honourable Member, I've been told to, you have 2 minutes left to speak.
That's more than enough time, Mr. Speaker. I would like to read for you a quote, Mr. Speaker, and everyone else. It says, we give advice, but we do not influence people's conduct. And Mr. Speaker, I believe that all these classes and things that they are promoting will continue to give advice. But unless we, again, facilitate the right culture, unless we have the right conversations and promote them, Mr. Speaker, it will just be that, advice. And our persons will be none the wiser, none the more inspired to do what they are called to do. I truly believe that everyone inside here, government, opposition, everyone needs to actively use the platforms that they have been given, all the things that they have access to promote these values, Mr. Speaker. I believe that if this government continues down this path, it will not be to the prosperity of Barbadians. And that our title as a republic will just be that, a name. Truly in the way that we carry out ourselves will not be that of a great republic. Mr. Speaker, we are not an opposition party. And yes, that might be the official title, but unofficially, I would like everyone here to view us, what has been said and what will be said after me, not as opposition, but as proposition. We are proposing to join in your efforts to take this strategy and truly make it a definition of what it says, all-encompassing. We are proposing to help pool our resources together to again promote these values.
Remember your time is almost up. Please wrap up.
While these things are good on the surface, Mr. Speaker, they need a lot of work. We do not oppose their vision. What we oppose is the plane and the vehicle that they have constructed for us. And they talk about astronauts. And Mr. Speaker, we don't need a car or a plane. What we need is a rocket ship taking us to the moon. I oblige, Mr. Speaker.
Madam Prime Minister, you stood before. I would like you to raise again. At what point do you raise?
I was trying to figure out, the honorable member time is that it's not on a point of order because I was trying to figure out the relevance because last week we were here to debate unemployment and non-IAs, people who are in NGOs and not posting on social media, so I was a bit lost, but he rapped. Yes, and it sounds very personal too, but let's be move away from that. He finished his speech, so I would listen to what the team members would have to say.
I remember at what point you raised.
Point of order has been, her point of order has been used relevantly. A point of order is for misleading the House, not for relevance.
Thank you. Leader, couple of business, please say at this point in time we would like to continue on the regular schedule work of Parliament. At this point in time, I would like to recognize Honorable Member Kiana Clark.
Speaker, honorable members of the House, concerned citizens, a pleasant good morning to you all. I stand before you today to champion the cause vital to the future of Barbados, the future of our economy, and the future of our youth. The implementation of a mandatory job preparation class for all secondary school students. On June 21st, 2016, the Minister of Labour in Barbados, Dr. Esther Bayosuku, called for the introduction of formal training for the world of work in secondary schools. This came after she met with the employers in the private and public sectors who expressed concern about the lack of readiness of new entrants into the working environment. She said, and I quote, "We need to start preparing our young people for the world of work at an earlier age. We need to give them the skills and knowledge they need to be successful in the workplace." Our current Minister of Labour, Colin Jordan, also addressed his concerns about unpreparedness of our young people in 2020 and has created the initiative of the Job Start Plus program. The call for formal training for the world of work in secondary school has been welcomed by employers. The Barbados Employers Confederation, BEC, says that the program is long overdue. The current disconnect between our secondary education system and the demands of the job market is undeniable. We equip our students with knowledge, but not always with the practical skills they need to translate that knowledge into successful careers. This mismatch leaves graduates floundering, their dreams deferred by the hurdle of unpreparedness. A workforce lacking essential skills can hinder productivity and innovation, leading to slower economic growth. Businesses may struggle to find qualified workers, impacting their ability to expand and create new jobs. Mr. Speaker, according to the OECD study and World Bank report, not preparing the youth for the demands of the job market can lead to 1, higher unemployment. Unprepared youths are more likely to face unemployment or underemployment, leading to decreased tax revenue and increased dependence on social welfare programs. This further burdens the economy and limits resources for vital investments. 2, brain drain. Talented but unprepared youths may choose to pursue opportunities abroad, leading to loss of valuable human capital and hindering knowledge transfer within the country. 3, mismatched skills. When education systems don't align with the needs of the job market, it can create a skills mismatch where available jobs don't require the skills of graduates, further perpetuating unemployment and underutilization of talent. But why should we, the government, advocate for this intervention? It's simple, because preparing our youth for the workforce is not just a personal benefit, it's a national imperative. Consider the evidence as underscored by the Inter-American Development Bank reaching yes. Aligning education with the job market's demand isn't just a feel-good notion. It's a key driver to economic growth.
2 minutes remaining, honorable member. 2 minutes remaining. Continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But the benefits extend beyond economics. Equipping our youth with tools like resume writing, interviewing techniques, and workplace etiquette isn't just about finding a job. It's about building self-confidence, fostering resilience, and nurturing a sense of agency. These skills empower them to navigate the professional world with poise and purpose, transforming them from passive job seekers into proactive career architects. We want to also ensure that we don't just implement practical skills, but also design a space for them to practice said skills by offering internships, creating volunteering opportunities, along with providing accessible and comprehensive career counseling services to guide students in career exploration, skill development, and job search strategies. This isn't a burden. It's an investment, and Mr. Speaker, I strongly disagree with the notion of leaving it up to YouTube. I would also like to remind the opposition that we are not here solely for the purpose of rebutting. We are here for the purpose to find solutions. Studies from the Inter-American Development Bank show that for every dollar invested in youth unemployment programs, society reaps a 4-fold return. Imagine the dividends we'll reap equipping our future workforce with the tools they need to succeed. This isn't about reinventing the wheel. It's about building upon existing strengths. Our skilled educators with appropriate training and resources can seamlessly integrate these practical skills into their existing curriculum. The future of Barbados rests on the shoulders of our youth. We owe them not just an education, but a roadmap to success. A mandatory job preparation class is not a magic bullet, but is a vital step towards aligning our education system with the needs of the modern economy, empowering our youth and securing a brighter future for all. Thank you.
Much obliged. I recognize honorable member from the opposition, Nayamuro.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, good morning. Dr. Martin Luther King once said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter." Today we are the voices of those who matter. The voices of those who speak but are not heard. The voices of those who are too afraid to speak. I believe those words of wisdom need to be rooted and grounded deep in our minds and hearts. Youth unemployment in our island is an increasingly drastic issue, a cause for serious concern. However, we need to tackle this issue of unemployment holistically for the sake of our people. This resolution scrapes the surface of what is needed for our people to flourish. All these solutions sound good in theory. In our society today, is it practical? I don't believe it is. I think we have a skewed idea that unemployed Barbadians are incapable of surviving on their own. Sometimes I think some unemployed persons on welfare who are living in government housing, who claim to be struggling, are maybe better off than some of us who live in working households. I believe being unemployed to some people is wonderful. I mean, who wouldn't want free housing? Welfare checks, bills paid, money free, as a result of doing absolutely nothing. To me, it sounds like a dream. I'm not saying to discontinue the benefits outlined, as they provide a critical lifeline for the percentage of citizens who need them. On a different note, regarding the unemployed person in Barbados, I'm interested in knowing the percentage actively looking to be employed. What percentage are willing to put in the effort to actually get a job? What percent will be efficient in their job? What percent would be good workers? These are all factors that need to be raised when discussing the issue of unemployment. When it comes to the issue related to job opportunities, the idea of structured bias not being a factor in job recruitment is absurd. Matter of fact, some bias should be a part of the job recruitment phase, not of race, not of social economic background, of the ability to complete tasks given the correct qualifications. Certain jobs require certain qualifications without a doubt. Mr. Speaker, sir, say you have an office and you are advertising for the post of secretary. In all honesty, do you see yourself hiring someone with no computer skills? When tackling workforce challenges, merely placing people into jobs won't suffice. We must shift our focus to fostering a broader appreciation for education beyond academics. But initiatives should be implemented to highlight it as being important from an early age. Education is the bedrock of personal and professional growth. Investing in a comprehensive framework, blending academic knowledge with practical skills and vocational training, empowers youth to be adaptable contributors to our workforce.
2 minutes remaining, honorable member.
Implementing equal opportunities for all children of all secondary schools is needed. Ensuring diverse skills training and promoting inclusivity for individuals with disabilities strengthens our workforce, making it both skilled and responsive to social demands. Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive strategy that encompasses education, skills development, and a commitment to inclusivity. Our youth are the future of our nation. If they are not all given the opportunities and needed skill sets to get jobs, how would our nation be in a few decades? Our battle fought too hard for us not to be fighting just as hard for our people today. Let us not only consider the immediate challenges, but also strive for a long-term solution that will pave the way for a brighter and more prosperous future for all Barbadians. Mr. Speaker, with that, I'm obliged to you.
I recognize Joshua DePisa.
Good morning. Good morning, all honorable members. Good morning. Good afternoon, all honorable members. And the colleagues of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment. Mr. Speaker, it pains me to know that our youth of Barbados is transitioning from secondary school without certain skills and knowledge which could equip them in their future endeavors. There are students about to leave secondary school with the intention of securing a job who don't even know what a CV is. Furthermore, they are unable to create one. Others are unable to fill out a job application form, set up NIS, and open bank accounts independently. All these things are necessary for the smooth transition into the workplace. I am grateful for the opportunity provided to me to accompany my mother and gain valuable first-hand experiences in filling out her business documents. I am saying all of this to say that it will prove beneficial to the Barbadian society to equip the youth as soon as possible. there should not be no last minute attempts to equip them in Fifth Farm. The Ministry of Education should implement a program which will be integrated among school hours. This program should be available for all students who is interested in learning about the workforce, and entering the workforce. Its main focus should be all the points that is outlined in Section D of the resolution. I strongly support the passing of this resolution, and measures need to be taken into consideration to counteract the problem of unemployment among our youth in Barbados. With that, I bless you.
Thank you, Honorable Member, Mr. DePisa. At this point in time, we call Siobhan Payne to the floor. Honorable Member Payne.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Unemployment is of vital importance, particularly to the unemployed. A quote from the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. As I stand here before you all today with the shared concerns that resonates deeply with the aspirations and the challenges of our generation. We all recognize the severity of this issue, and we as the opposition strongly believe to acknowledge different perspectives. Firstly, relying solely on reducing the complexity of the youth unemployment to solely government policies may be oversimplifying a multifaceted problem. Look at Section B of the resolution: curriculum, reform, and industry alignment. We must acknowledge the global economic. We must acknowledge global market dynamics, the economic shifts, and the technological era that we are currently in, which contributes significantly to the job environment. I suppose we look at remote working or online jobs. Embracing this digital era can provide our youth with many avenues for employment. We propose that more environments use remote work, as there is a low number of jobs on the island that have the remote working compared to the number of jobs totally. This also connects with Section D of the resolution: job preparation and the class mandate. Rather than solely focusing on job placements, let's prioritize equipping our youth with the skills that match the demands of the emerging industry. We can do this by fostering a curriculum that adapts to the technological advancements. We prepare our youth with jobs of the future. Many students do not know how to use commonly used software and applications for these remote jobs. In conclusion, while we acknowledge the gravity of the youth unemployment, let us avoid the oversimplification. Let us explore the digital opportunities and reform the curriculum. We can develop a comprehensive solution that goes beyond placing the blame solely on the government policies. Together, let's work towards for a better Barbados. A Barbados not only where the youth find jobs, but also thrive in the evolving job market.
Recognizing Honorable Member Raymond Small.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, honorable members of the House. I am grateful for the opportunity to speak on this topic, youth unemployment, because as a young man myself, I feel as though I can finally express my concerns. And I recognize that there's a major problem in the developing world with a growing number of young people finding it difficult to land jobs. Now picture this. A talented graduate with dreams of making a positive impact in their community, armed with a degree and passion, find themselves endlessly submitting job applications, facing closed doors and the weight of unfulfilled potential. This scenario is all too common in this country. Jobs are becoming increasingly difficult for young people to come by, especially jobs that we actually want and study for. Chairperson of the Commonwealth Youth Council, Tajani Christian, said, "It is clear that in developing countries, particularly in the Caribbean, young people face the reality of joblessness, unemployment, and even those who are qualified face the reality of underemployment. Barbados has limited opportunities for career success. And that is part of the reason we are here presenting this resolution today. Point A in this resolution talks about equitable employment opportunities. The Barbados National Youth Parliament encourages collaboration with stakeholders to explore ways of making access to employment more equitable for individuals. Now, I could stand here and say, well, we need to do this and we need to do that, but really I just want to highlight the importance of making the necessary investments to ensure that our youth and the young people are provided with more entry-level positions with the appropriate salaries. And the reason I stress on the term entry-level is because, for example, nowadays a lot of jobs require at least 2 to 3 years experience. But after I graduate university, where am I going to get this experience from? After I went through secondary school, college, and university studying to be, let's say, an accountant, when it's time for me to apply for jobs that I studied so hard for, this accountant position, I am constantly met with 2 to 3 years experience required. This is why so many people leave the country to pursue their careers. Another quote from Tajani Christian: "We want the opportunity to live in the Caribbean, where we don't have to migrate out."
2 more minutes remaining.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Continue.
So we need to expand the labor market and allow for more diverse job opportunities, whether it is by collaborating with stakeholders to attack the problem, investing in growing businesses, or even exploring new sectors like renewable energy. And referring back to point A, let me just say this. Regardless of socio-economic background, sexual orientation, or gender identity, everyone deserves a chance at career success. And that is the aim of this resolution, Mr. Speaker, to ensure more opportunities for youth and their careers. I would also like to quickly touch on point D in the resolution, the job preparation class mandate. The Barbados Youth Parliament emphasizes the significance of preparing students for the workforce and therefore urges the introduction of a compulsory job preparation class for all secondary schools. Now, I strongly support this notion because, and I believe, by the way, that this can be very impactful because right now there are so many students in secondary schools that have no idea what they want to do when they leave. I was one of those students. This is called career uncertainty. And I believe that the level of career uncertainty in students right now can be reduced if we introduce a class that focuses on career planning, job letter and resume writing, and explaining the skills and requirements of certain jobs and what to expect in the world of work. Now, earlier I would have heard an honorable member on the opposition side explain that this class is a waste of the taxpayers'
Remember,
dollar.
in the closing seconds of your time, so please wrap up.
No problem. I will conclude now. I heard the honorable member said that this class is a waste of the taxpayers' dollar. And he suggested that the class is necessary because that is the reason for guidance counselors. Now, I didn't know that because I didn't know that guidance counselors are there to help
Remember,
the students.
the time has now elapsed, and take a seat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member Sarah Wiggins, you now have the floor.
A blessed good evening. Sorry. A blessed good evening to everyone. And to you, Mr. Speaker. No. Nelson Mandela once stated, right? Like slavery and apartheid, poverty.
Honorable Member, the room doesn't require that level of volume. Just bring it on a bit. I'm enjoying the enthusiasm for the speaker, just a little bit. Thank you.
Like slavery and apartheid, poverty is not natural. It is man-made, and it can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. Sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be the great generation that eradicates this. And I believe that is why we are all here today, opposition and government. Because the future of the Barbadian youth is in our hands, and we're here to represent the youth. Now, let's get down to business. I'm glad that we finally get to tackle the issue of youth unemployment, and that the government gives some good suggestions, although some things need to be changed. Firstly, I would like to commend the government for providing solutions for youth unemployment. But these ideas, although they sound so sweet on paper, they sound real sweet, are a bit too fast-paced for this small country. Firstly, let us not forget that we are made up of a mostly aging population. The site from EBSCO says 46.88% 65 years and older make up this country. That is approximately 47 out of every 100 people. Compared to our youth population, which is only 19.53%, 10 to 24 years old, that is only 20 people out of every 100. Now, let's take a look at the resolution. Specifically, the curriculum reform and industry alignment. Although it sounds really good, it has some flaws, Mr. Speaker. How can students fill existing jobs in the job market when there isn't enough youth to begin with? Tell me how, Mr. Speaker. How? When the aging population leaves the workforce, the youth population is not nearly enough to replace them. Secondly, our Education Act was put in place to ensure that every child in Barbados has a chance to access to excellent education across all stages, from early childhood until on to continuing education. The main point of this education is to ensure that our youth get the qualifications they need to be what? Employed. 9 out of 10 times that is not the case, Mr. Speaker. Our youth are barely leaving schools without the proper qualifications such as CXCs.
2 minutes remaining.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 2022, approximately 62% of students who sat the CSET examinations attained at least 4 subjects, 1 to 3. Although they have made significant strides through recent years, it still has there are disparities that exist within the educational system. While some schools constantly boast high pass rates, other schools struggle to achieve the same level of success. We see Harrison College, we see Queen's College, we see the St. Michael Secondary. But what about the other schools? My point is, that is why I truly believe we should do a job preparation class mandate, but some tweaks should be made. The youth should be prepared how to know things like career planning, workplace etiquette and resume writing, and interview techniques. I agree. But to further improve this, I believe schools should partner with businesses. I believe that schools should partner with businesses to implement internship programs so students can have the full-on experiences. I'm talking gas stations, restaurants, small businesses, so our students will not be just fully equipped with learning things like math and English and history, but they will have the experience to have internships, be paid, and to have the experience to be prepared for not just the world of work, but for the world of life. And with that, Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member Wiggins. Recognizing Honorable Member from the government, Larissa McCray Williams.
Good afternoon, honorable members, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if I had to ask you and another honorable member to take a photo of me, what should I expect? Should I expect the same exact photo with the same angle and perspective? Of course not. In the same manner, we all need to acknowledge that this menace of youth unemployment must be viewed from different angles and perspectives, and it will therefore require several approaches to overcome it. If I had to apply an economist lens to this issue, my colleagues who have gone before me have addressed the supply side of it, ensuring that students have the necessary skills to be able to transfer smoothly into the employment sector. Moreover, to encourage them to be enterprising and maybe become the employers instead of the employees. Also, we've addressed within this resolution the need to invest in more sectors that are necessary, emerging sectors, sustainable agriculture, so that there will be adequate opportunities for individuals to transition to. When I was a part of a professional development program, too often I heard, I'm considering ditching Barbados. I'm considering that because there are more opportunities, way more options. I have seen with my own eyes how much it is, how often we need to struggle to get a job in Barbados. These were some of the responses of tertiary level students contemplating their futures. However, what I would like to suggest today, to merge both the supply and demand side of the issue, is in line with what an author stated when writing on this topic. To solve the menace of youth unemployment requires key stakeholders, including but not limited to government, social partners, youth and civil society, the private sector, regional institutions, parliamentarians, foundations, academia, the media. All these groups in society will be required to invest qualitatively and quantitatively into interventions for youth employment. It seems to be in line with when we say it takes a village to raise a child. Therefore, I want you to take a good look at this resolution and understand that we are providing the foundation to build a national village that supports and nurtures the growth of the youth in Barbados. As a result, I would like to recommend that a steering committee be developed to focus on developing an employment youth policy. This committee should comprise of, and I know you can guess, all those that I have mentioned before, individuals from the education sector, civil society organizations who are focusing on youth initiatives, also those from the private sector to provide a grasp and an understanding of what the job market requires. This would allow for us to build a better synergy of what we are about to propose and what the market requires. To start, the committee can also strive to provide or map out youth unemployment initiatives that list key government and corporate initiatives locally, regionally, and internationally. Identify them, see where the challenges may exist, see how we can improve.
2 minutes remaining.
See how we can improve upon those challenges and build a comprehensive model that is innovative and connects the youth to relevant and purposeful careers. Again, without a vision, the people perish. So we have seen already that there are many initiatives being put in place, are already enacted in Barbados, even under the Ministry of Youth. So we're not trying to start from scratch. What we're trying to do is to pool the resources we have, analyze them, examine them, and make them dynamic to address the future changes we may encounter. Today's resolution is a call for action, for all stakeholders to play their part and provide the engine that the opposition seems to think we lack. I am obliged to you.
Honorable Member Mayanji Bradshaw.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in a world of constant growth and innovation, we as a small dot on this map must swiftly adapt to keep up with this development. And I hope we are all in agreement that the only chance of gaining this development is by ensuring the maximum participation from our citizens, especially our youth, who are our key to innovation. Despite that, it is not wrong to say that we as a country have disappointed our youth by sending them into the workforce unprepared, valueless to companies. This is not good enough. And when I look at our resolution, I'm left with a feeling that these changes were only made to make a change on the surface level, the tip of the iceberg, as I should say. Further, Mr. Speaker, I have to wonder, how well does our government know our youth? How deep have they dug into the problem to truly deconstruct and reconstruct, as they said, in a way to permanently fix this problem? Have they truly tried to fix this problem? Have they truly tried to understand the troubles that are truly stopping our youth from gaining our job? And I would like to remind the members of what a member of government has said. He has all the qualifications, but he did not have what? Experience. And yet I am looking at this resolution and I'm finding nothing about gaining experience. How is this helping our youth? If we still with our things cannot help our children get a job without experience. Because again, all I'm saying is the disparities in effort between what is said from what is presented in this so-called resolution. What techniques or what structure will be implemented for these resolutions to actually work? I would have truly adored to see more details in this resolution. Mr. Speaker, furthermore, for point D, the government has truly shown the lack of research done. Again, I would like to remind the members that there are plenty of workshops available to this date. Do we actually know how much time, how much it works, the statistics? The workforce also in 2024 are
Honorable
not...
members of the government, please limit the cross-talking. Thank you.
I would also like to remind the members, Mr. Speaker, that in 2024, businesses no longer look at your qualifications only, or how well you can write a resume, or how well anything. They look at how much experience you have. Again, a member has said, he did not have experience, he did not get the job. It was stressed. And
Honorable member, Madam Prime Minister, what do you raise?
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member is misleading the House. She is seeing. On a point of order, sorry. The honorable member is misleading the House. She is saying that employers do not look for CVs, they solely look for experience. When I went to get a job, the first thing they asked me to do was to bring a CV. So to say that employers are only looking for experience is to mislead the House.
point of elucidation. I have stated that they no longer look only at how good you can run
Order. Continue, madam.
So, like I said, I would also like to understand that, I would also like to remind the workforce, the members, that the workforce has been so competitive that these
people are no longer willing to choose candidates that they have to waste time training, as time is money. How are you planning to make a smooth transition as these students with a perfect resume are not even seen as competitive in the fields? Even students applying for blue-collar jobs will need experience to be truly competitive. This is why I am proposing schools to adopt a mandatory volunteer hour program that students have to complete between the years of first to third form. Along with these changes, to ensure that these changes are not only halfway helpful, but carry them the whole way.
Again, the cross-talking persists on the side of the government. Should I hear another member of the government continue to make interruptions while a member of the opposition is making their presentation, I will ask the clerk to escort you out of the parliament. Everybody deserves a say. This is why we do this. I would not like for the House to devolve into some kind of backyard where persons are not following the structure and the regulations according to the parliamentary system. Madam Member of the House, please continue. You will continue to have a 30-second grace period.
Okay. This is, along with these changes, to ensure that these changes are not only halfway helpful to our students, but carry them a whole way. Because no matter how much they may build up their confidence, that confidence will deflate when they still can't find this job. In addition, I would like to reiterate the means of using programs for internships and apprenticeship like my fellow members have stated. In conclusion, I would like to know how well or how far our government will go to fix these prevailing gaps with these recommendations, as we are all one team, to ensure that our youth, I will ask them if they would stand for a half-hearted or short-term fix, or will they truly look to fix their resolution to help our country? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Again, if you need to respond to something that you hear either from the government or opposition, we have the points of order on which you can stand. Do not be wizzy-wizzying, as we will say colloquially, to each other, because that often takes away from the essence of what the Member of Parliament who is standing currently has to say. So as we continue, again, if there's something you object with, feel free to use the standing points. However, do not be cross-talking with each other and taking away from the moment that belongs to the other member of the House. Thank you very much. At this point in time, I would like to recognize Ariel Herwood. Honourable Member Ariel Herwood, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, esteemed judges, and specially invited guests, good afternoon. Today I stand here to address a crucial issue, a crucial aspect of our nation's future, the role of education in shaping the entrepreneurial spirit among young people. Numerous studies, including the European Commission's publication, Entrepreneurship Education, a guide for educators, have consistently demonstrated the effectiveness of vocational training and entrepreneurship education in providing hands-on skills. Now, from pages 46 to 47, yes, I read the whole document. From pages 46 to 47, where the government of the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia introduced a new course, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, to first, second, and third years of secondary schools. Then, in September 2012 and 2014, implemented that same program in primary schools. To make a long story short, Mr. Speaker, the main message of this case is that with a proactive government, there should always be an opportunity for all students to become familiar with entrepreneurship. And as far as I am concerned, we are a proactive government. In the context of Barbados, let us turn our attention to credible statistics. According to recent data from the Barbados Statistical Service, regions that have integrated vocational training into their educational systems have witnessed a significant decrease in youth unemployment, demonstrating the real-world impact of such educational approaches. Furthermore, in the Inter-American Development Bank study entitled Researching Yes, Youth Empowerment and Skilling, underscores the importance of aligning our education system with educational frameworks, aligning our educational system with the demands of the job market. In Barbados, where the economy is evolving, we're not fully developed, but we're still evolving. adapting our educational framework becomes imperative. Statistics from the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry reveal a growing gap between the skills possessed by graduates and the requirements of emerging industries. It is time that we bridge this gap and ensure our educational system caters to the practice needs of the workforce. No, the BMYP strongly advocates for encouraging entrepreneurship from a young age. Certain strategies outlined in our proposal, we aim to dedicate specific time to entrepreneurship education, fostering a culture of innovation, creativity, and self-employment among the youth. Let's refer to data from the Barbados Entrepreneurship Foundation, which reveals that countries emphasizing entrepreneurship education experience higher rates of new business creation. By utilizing these principles early on, we are not only empower our youth, but we also contribute to the economic growth of our nation.
2 minutes remaining.
In conclusion, don't worry, I'm wrapping up. In conclusion, the BMYP stance is rooted in evidence-backed conviction that vocational training, apprenticeships, and entrepreneurship education are pivotal to shaping the future of Barbados. By aligning our education system with the needs of the job market, we not only reduce youth unemployment, but also cultivate a generation ready to drive innovation and economic prosperity. Let us not only invest in textbooks, but in practical skills and entrepreneurial spirit that will propel Barbados forward. Thank you, and I oblige.
Recognizing from the opposition, Nathaniel Nels.
Mr. Speaker, it is a pleasure to be here today to speak on behalf of the opposition, Mr. Speaker. Today, we look at unemployment in society. But, Mr. Speaker, I bring a question to everyone in this room, which was constructed by Mr. Samuel Litquist. Is the issue in today's society youth unemployment, or is the issue the unutilization of youth in today's society, Mr. Speaker? And I would like all of us to ponder upon that, Mr. Speaker. I would like us to look at you. Now, I understand that blue-collar jobs in today's society is looked down upon. Now, the promotions of these jobs to youth, I clap my hand and I applaud it. But however, Mr. Speaker, as I have said before in these honorable chambers, you can carry a cow to water, but you can't make it drink. Or if I make a person, you can bring water to a cow, Mr. Speaker, but you cannot make him drink, Mr. Speaker. We have to understand that in today's society, we have a very, very, very picky youth, Mr. Speaker. Some of them will not eat vegetables if you put it on the plate, they can tell you to wash your face. So we need to look at the generation that we have in today's society. After a youth have worked long and hard to become a doctor and realize that they can't get a job to be a doctor, Mr. Speaker, you can tell them about, oh, go and work sanitation or construction. They will look at you like, if you crazy, Mr. Speaker. So however, I appreciate.
Madam Prime Minister, on what point do you raise?
Excuse me, Mr. Speaker, on a point of order. The Honorable is misleading the House. The government is not encouraging anyone or pushing anyone in any sector. He specifically speaks to remove a stigma associated with blue-collar jobs. So I would advise the Honorable to read the resolution that is in front of you.
Mr. Speaker, I clearly understand you are trying to remove the stigma, as you just stated correctly, right? Around blue-collar job, but what did I just state to you? I just told you.
Member, when you speak and you have the floor, you refer to persons through me. No using of her, him, she. You refer to the person that you're speaking to as honorable member.
I am sorry, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Mr. Speaker. Right. Mr. Speaker, I correctly stated that As she said, the stigma around blue-collar jobs, but all I was trying to say, Mr. Speaker, is that we have a picky generation that would basically say they do not want that job, Mr. Speaker. That is all I'm trying to say. However, but I will move on. Mr. Speaker, let's look at F. Now, F in this resolution is the best thing on this paper, Mr. Speaker. It's the best thing because it states about the growing sectors such as renewable energy, technology, sustainable agriculture as a strategic measure to reduce youth unemployment, amongst other things. Mr. Speaker, I agree with that. The world is changing, and we need to jump in the things that are growing at this moment for our youth to get jobs, Mr. Speaker. However, I would like to agree with one of the government members, Mr. Speaker, when they stated about A, B, and C, but what about the rest of the alphabet? I agree, Mr. Speaker, that have some persons that do not want to be a doctor or a lawyer. They may want to be an astronaut. They may want to be a fighter pilot, Mr. Speaker. So we need to bridge the gap in our society. That's what we need to do. We need to make the ways and the means for our youth to have choices, Mr. Speaker. To have choices. What about the youth that want to be YouTubers, but they can't be YouTubers due to the ad revenues is not allowed, technically speaking, in this country and not able to make money. We need to bridge those gaps, Mr. Speaker. As I stand here today for you to have a statement that the young people like to make when they are about to have a child or after, I can try to give you the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, that I didn't have. That is what we need to do as we take a holistic approach to solve the issue of unemployment in our country, Mr. Speaker. I cannot just stand up here and talk about doctors and lawyers and blue-collar jobs, but I have to stand on a holistic approach on behalf of everybody. I am standing up for all youth and what different jobs they may want to pursue. So we need to bridge the gap. We need to stand up united on behalf of youth to make a way for them in today's society, Mr. Speaker. As I stand here today, Mr. Speaker, we must look at the different avenues, as one of my members stated. Online jobs, Mr. Speaker. We have a technology-inclined generation. You can put an iPad in the hand of a 5-year-old and they're working it better than an old person, Mr. Speaker. We need to use that to our advantage, use the online jobs as a means of a way for our youth to make money in today's society. It's possible. If it happened overseas, we should try our best to bridge the gap, talk to who we need to talk to, and make it happen here, Mr. Speaker.
Remember your time is almost finished, so kindly wrap up.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. And lastly, I would like to make a statement from a song. The person said, I was born by a river in a little tent, and oh, just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. And Mr. Speaker, with that, I am obliged to you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Recognizing Honourable Member Keshawn Waldron, you have the floor.
Honourable members, Mr. Speaker. Imagine a world where the dreams and aspirations of the youth are held back. Unfortunately, there is no need to imagine, because that is the world that we currently exist in. As mentioned in the resolution, in 2022, youth unemployment rates in Barbados stood at 25%. And what it represents is something greater than a statistic. What it truly represents is unrealized potential. So today, with the time that I have, I will be looking at how we can combat youth unemployment. So how can we combat youth unemployment? If you take a look at point F in the resolution, it speaks to the prioritization of emerging industries such as renewable energy and technology. Now, as it is, Barbados is highly reliant on the tourism industry. And while Barbados will always continue to revolve around the tourism industry, at this point in time, it is important that we strengthen our resolve to move away from the tourism sector. According to the World Trade and Tourism Council, it is estimated that up to 33% of all jobs in Barbados can be linked to the tourism industry. This directly includes sectors such as food services and accommodations, but it also indirectly links sectors such as entertainment, transportation, and so on. That means that even if every youth in Barbados was given a job tomorrow, say for instance if a natural disaster or another global pandemic occurs, God forbid, up to 1 in 3 persons would be without a job. That is why in the resolution we emphasize the importance of entrepreneurship as well as the need to invest in new emerging industries. It is also mentioned in the resolution a research study conducted by a fellow by the name of Adijanga. And he was looking at the positive impact that could come about by investing in renewable energy. And he concluded that by investing in renewable energy, it has the potential to generate thousands of direct and indirect jobs. And now, from the perspective of Barbados, as we begin to further prioritize the investment of renewable energy, we reduce the millions of dollars we spend each year on the importation of fossil fuels. That money that is being saved can be divested to other parts of government which are being currently underfunded. And when you combine all of those factors together, what we create are opportunities for innovation and sustainable employment, because that is what this should be about. We don't just want persons to be employed tomorrow and unemployed the next day. We want them to be sustainably employed. As I conclude, Barbados is a small island, but we stand before a massive opportunity. By strengthening our investment in renewable energy, we create opportunities for innovation and sustainable employment, which have the highest return on investment. I am obliged.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Lastly, but by no means least from the opposition, we have Honourable Member Nathaniel Lane.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, Mr. Speaker, as soon as I saw the resolution that was placed before the House, I must admit it came across as a well-intentioned document designed to address the issue of unemployment, youth unemployment in this country. However, Mr. Speaker, then I took a second look with my spectacles. And then I realized quite rapidly that the members of government do not understand the complex nature of the unemployment issue in this country. I want to turn our attention to Section A of the resolution. It seeks to create equitable conditions for, let's say, for groups that face vulnerabilities within the country. You know, the people of divergent sexual orientations or those of those socioeconomic backgrounds. But, Mr. Speaker, I wonder if the members of government are aware of a bill passed in 2020 named the Employment Prevention Discrimination Bill, which in sections 3, 4, and 5 already address all of those issues, Mr. Speaker. Actually move on to address the issues that face people in that have divergent religious identities. Mr. Speaker, I would ask that the members of government actually bring solutions that actually address issues that are facing the young people. Now, Mr. Speaker, I would like to also move away from this hyper-socialist idea that each and every person in the country deserves to have a job. Each and every person should just have a job. Mr. Speaker, no. I say that we should focus on making sure the young people in this country have something meaningful to add to the job market. You know why, Mr. Speaker? There's a study conducted by, well, there's multiple studies conducted by the UN Commission on Economic Development in Latin America and the Caribbean, also the OECD, which speak about the fact that low levels of labor productivity in a country can also affect a GDP, thus constraining the economic system and preventing the job creation that we want. We need to focus on assuring our young people can add to the job market, Mr. Speaker. Now, I want to move on to Section B. Section B is based on a false assumption that the demands of the job market today will be the demands of the job market tomorrow. that the economy is going to somehow stay stagnant, that we're supposed to prepare our education system is supposed to be streamlined to the demands of the job market? No. This is because the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us that we live in an increased globalization and interconnected world, where things that happen on the outside affect us tremendously. Our economic landscape and the structure of Barbados changes rapidly. As such, instead of creating this, instead of streamlining the focus of the students to a specific job market, I say we prepare students to adapt to a complex world where they have divergent skills and competencies. Now I'll move on to the final section, actually section D, and this is going to be very complicated to conclude. But section D speaks about creating this CV class that the members of government seem very happy about. And you know, to me, it makes me wonder if we're going complacent about another issue that's affecting the young people in this country. Mr. Speaker, why are my friends from Harrison College and Queen's College graduated with 7 and 8 CXCs, but my friends from St. Leonard's and Parkinson graduated with no CXCs at all? Do you know that in 2022, of the 12 scholarship winners, 6 of them were from Harrison College, 5 were from QC, and 1 was from St. Michael's School? Why are we growing complacent about this disparity in the, let's say, the level of academic competence within the young people in this country? Now, the reason that's important to the final section is, am I to believe that a young person who can write a brilliant CV and conduct himself in an excellent interview is going to be more competitive in the job market against my counterpart for scholarship and 7 CXCs or 8? Because are you trying to tell me that that is not a disparity? Look, see, section 1. Section A said that they want to reduce the inequities, the inequalities. To me, that seems like a greater inequality than those of divergent sexual identities. That is a real change that we can address right now, Mr. Speaker. Now, as such, the solution to that problem will be this. Adequately preparing our students through academia to attain jobs is something we can actually do. I move that 75% of the students in this country, regardless of the school, QC, HC, doesn't matter, or it can be St. Leonard's, Parkinson, whatever. I move that 75% of the students in this country should graduate with at least minimum 5 CXCs. And if at 5 CXCs and at least having math and English being one of them. And for that 25% that may not be able to attain the academia in that way, Mr. Speaker, I would move that they engage in some vocational training. 3 CVQs, again, not 1. I'm not saying just being able to cut here is sufficient. Remember I mentioned in section B, the job market is increasingly complex. When a student can cut hair, can plumb, can be a mechanic, and he has those 3 competencies, if then he cannot find a job, then we can say we have this huge youth unemployment issue. I believe the issues our young people are not competent, Mr. Speaker. Our young people are not sufficiently competent. If you have a young person with 7 or 8 skills, trust and believe they will find a job. But we can't be satisfied that, oh, they have no CSCs, they do a CVQ, and they should be fine. No. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe that these are some of the issues that we can address to assure that the young people in this country are able to attain jobs. So I'm going to conclude, I'm just going to summarize. So what we're going to do, we want to make sure that the young people, Mr. Speaker, have diverging competencies. We want to make sure we increase the standard of our academia, that at least 75% of our students graduate with 5 CXCs, English and math being a minimum. We want to make sure that those who don't do at least 3 CVQs to make sure that they're competitive enough. We get rid of this foolish notion that once they want a job, they can get a job. No, you want to make sure the competent people are attaining jobs, and those who are not sufficiently competent, we have programs to make them competent enough to add to the job market. And finally, let's move away from Section A. Section A Section A is already addressed. We have a bill and a resolution for that already. So it's saying that we get serious about the issue that's before us, and we do things that actually benefit the young people in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. At this point, I would like to invite the government side to present their closing remarks.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. I would first like to say that I'm grateful for the opportunity. We are grateful for the opportunity to be able to be here today and give grateful for this opportunity to be able to speak here today and give of our views. But I would like to state some things that my government members are a little bit concerned about. Not all students are interested in learning. There are some who go to school every day and do their best and still not meet the academic standard. There are some children that are not as intelligent as others, and we can say that not everybody's book smart. You can say that some of your friends are not book smart, not able to recite and then regurgitate knowledge that you can from a book. There are different kinds of intelligences, and that's why we have things like NTI, which is a government implemented initiative to assist and give knowledge to other students who want to learn more and were not able to grasp what they were learning in school. And as we've heard by my honorable member, people go into school in math and they hear about pi equals this and pi equals that and qx equals to yx squared. What is that going to do for you in life? So my government has implemented some other stuff, other programs, and I clearly stated earlier the initiative that was brought up. Let me get the flyer for you. There are many flyers here that my government has put up to assist young people. So we cannot say, you cannot say, that we have not done anything for that. In closing, hold on, let me gather my right. Neither we seek to blame the Ministry of Education for students' lack of success, but we recognize that the Ministry of Education and Technological and Vocational Training must adapt our educational system to stay updated with the changes and job markets to ensure our students become world-class citizens. So, again, the resolution clearly states a lot of these things here. Like, for instance, the curricular reform and industry alignment. We have been hearing a lot from the government say, what is we are not doing enough, and that you can bring the cow to the water and can't make it drink, or you can bring the water to the cow and still can't make it drink. We have a lot of young persons who are interested but do not know about these things. That's why we are implementing more initiatives, and when we have the what you call it when they come to the schools, the career showcases, right? We are now sending more people to come in and state these things. There are also a lot of other things that are coming up. There's one job thing that I know that is called Green Grub. That is a environmentally friendly business, which is helping us to move into the newer system of our changing world. So these are some things that we have here that can help to change our country. So thank you, Mr. Speaker, and to the facilitators, and for the opposition for giving their suggestions, and we are greatly appreciative of those. But we ask that at the same time, as you address our situations, that you look with an open eye, not only to argue, but to state facts and help us to assist to make the problem better. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to stand to move the resolution to be passed in the House for
I second that motion. Right, the motion's been passed to vote on the Barbados National Youth Parliament resolution for January 23rd on youth unemployment. All those in favor, raise your right hand. those who are not in favor of the Barbados National Youth Parliament Resolution, January 23rd, 2024, the resolution for youth unemployment. Those not in favor, raise your left hand. Lower your hands. And we have 11 persons for and 8 persons against.
Mr. Speaker, I think there's a mistake there, sir. The entire opposition, sir, would have voted no, so I think we have a recount there, sir, because my math is not so good, but I know it's more than 8 on this side, sir.
Honourable member, do you propose a recount?
No, sir, the vote is there. The opposition voted, sir. As I said, there are
Honourable member, do you move for there to be a recount?
No, sir, we voted already, sir.
Yes.
No,
Mr. Speaker,
we voted already.
Mr. Speaker, you have to be recognized. Sir, I'd like to move that there be a calling of the roll and the clerk to call out the names of the members and we record our vote via voice hand. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Leader of Opposition Business. It's been moved for there to be roll call and for the voicing of voting for or against via voicing. All those in favor, raise your right hand. In favor for the roll call, raise your right hand. All right, we will go to a roll call. Parliament Clerk, would you do a roll call?
Excuse me, Mr. Speaker.
For government and then opposition.
Sarah Holder. Jaden Jordan Collymore.
Yes.
Tiffany Weeks. Trinity Weeks.
Yes.
Shamar Lewis.
Yes.
Dante Freeman.
Yes.
Elisha Eichel.
Yes.
Keani Clark. Keani Clark. Joshua DePisa.
Yes.
Raymond Snow.
Yes.
Nessa. Marissa.
Yes.
McCray
Williams.
Yes, please.
Ariel Harewood.
Ariel. Yes.
Kashawn Waldron.
Yes. So we have 12 yeses from the government side. Opposition roll call.
Nathan Paul Sitson.
No.
Joshua Harris.
No.
Kashawn Brewster,
Nope.
Ari Mason,
Aria Masco, no time.
Zakia Stanford,
Sanford and no.
John Delancey,
Delaney and no.
Naya Morrow,
Yeah, I know.
Shaquan Hen,
No.
Sarah Wiggins,
Sarah and no.
Natanya Niels, Niles,
No.
Nayaji Brashaw,
No, please.
Nathaniel Lynn.
No.
We have 12 noes from the opposition. As it stands, there 11 yeses from the government and 12 noes from the opposition. 12. My apologies. Thoroughplane is not present. So we have 12 yeses from the government side and 12 noes from the opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the opposition is busy visiting and they're saying that I haven't voted, so I will make it clear that my vote is yes.
Thank you very much for your clarification.
So as currently stands, the resolution is at a draw.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I think the Prime Minister just said that she didn't vote, and we are saying that yes.
No, I said I yes.
That we are saying she didn't vote, and she wants to say her vote, but the time for voting has passed her. So therefore, the rule has already been called. She can't represent it.
Order in the House. The Prime Minister's order in the House. The Prime Minister's vote was counted. There was an absent person from the government side. I was not present. Hence the irregularities in the voting count. However, the vote is now at a draw. And we will continue this at the next sitting of Parliament. Member of the opposition, leader of the opposition, your vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, my task here this afternoon, sir, is to move the vote of thanks. Sir, first of all, I wish to thank the Lord God Almighty. In Him we live and move and have our being, sir. So I also wish to thank, sir, the
Leader of the opposition, just one moment. I'm still hearing a lot of cross-talking from both the government and the opposition. Kindly, for the vote of thanks, respect the leader of the opposition and allow him to make his statements. Thank you. Continue.
Thank you, sir. I also want to thank the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, sir, for having this session. I also want to thank the facilitators that came last week on Wednesday and Friday to speak with us. I also wish to thank Ivan in where we are currently being hosted, sir. I also wish to thank, sir, the Youth Parliament Committee, sir, who has done a tremendous job, sir, in encouraging us, sir, and being a pillar of support, sir, to each and every one of us here, sir. And I cannot sit, sir, without saying, sir, a job well done to the committee, sir. I also want to thank the chairperson, sir, who has been, to each and every one of us here, I know that some of us can attest, sir, she's always encouraging us, sir. She's always being, sir, the rock on which we can stand upon, sir. So I also want to thank the judges for taking the time out to being here, the technical team, and with that, sir, I'm blessed to you, sir.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand to move that this honorable House be adjourned until next date.
The motion has been presented for the Youth Parliament, Barbados National Youth Parliament, to be adjourned until the next given date in the new financial year. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I believe the ayes have it.